Alright, here we go. This is this is level 24. It's heavily inspired by episode 6, level 7 of the original Wolf, which has a very similar starting room to this, and also the main cross-shaped room is very similar, except this one is bigger and there's more dudes in it. And this level is in general pretty brutal, especially the starting couple rooms, which is what I like. I like that this one and the next one are actually extremely brutal at the beginning. But I don't know, I like the idea of creating this huge, massive, confrontation at the beginning, and then, having it settle down into something. It's kind of, it's pacing. It's like, it's how to do pacing and level design, I guess. In movies, you have violent action scenes. Well, it's like there's a movie, David Lynch movie, Wild at Heart, where someone gets, the main character kills another guy. Literally, this guy pulls a knife on him, and the main character kills him literally in the first 2 minutes of the movie. And it's really, bloody, and that's, the bloodiest scene in the movie. I don't know, the pacing stuff is interesting, and that's a thing that you can really play with. One of the biggest things that you can play with, so I definitely tried to do that. Because you don't want the person playing to, be complacent or be zombie-like. You want to keep someone engaged. Of course, that's kind of the Mario philosophy of design, which has its own problems. Doing, not that I really followed that exactly, but doing variations on a theme, trying to do as many combinations as possible of a thing. Actually, I mean, that is a really useful thing, and it doesn't necessarily have to, be meaningless or anything like that. This room has several secrets in it, including the secret that goes to the secret level. Of course, I didn't remember, and I'm gonna struggle greatly later on to try to figure out where it is, because I don't think it's that one. But it's a confusing room in general. It's shaped like a what shape is that? It's like if you turned a square diagonally, and it's all pixelated. It's a nice little room, I guess. Yeah, this one, in this mod in general, when I was feeling it, I definitely did better stuff, and when I wasn't, I kind of just gave up or phoned it in a little bit and just tried to get it done so I could spend more effort on the levels that I was, feeling it in. So this texture is, it's the same texture that level 40 used. I think I like it more in level 40, but I think it's originally from Shabs 2000 by Gary Ragland, or he might have gotten it from somewhere else, I don't know, but that's where I found it. I pretty much just stole textures. I actually did a few brightness adjustment things for it, but yeah, these guys are they're in prison. They're trapped behind those plants, and they're like prison cells there. I don't know, you tell me what that means. That's a similar room in episode 6, the 2-1 in episode 6 level 4, which is a pretty unremarkable level, except for a few things. And I think I referenced them in this level a bit, in the next key area too. This is a pretty windy first key area, but you get to go to where the other side of where I was shooting those guys, which is neat. Of course, it is completely unnecessary, but it's always good to see on the other end. And there are tables which are not usually used to obstruct different areas, but wanted to try something different, I guess. It's a little officer gathering area or something. I don't know. In general, like, my approach to design was pretty abstract, as you might have noticed. And unfortunately, I think I could have gone much further in abstract territory, but I was trying to, like, you know, balance the abstractness out with some sort of realism, or maybe I just felt like obligated to do it because that's how that's, you know, the tradition of the game. So I think there is a bit of a sense that I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and there are a lot of interesting spaces, but you know, sometimes it doesn't feel nearly as cohesive as it could be, and it does get a bit random. I don't know. I think the one thing about this mod that you could say more than maybe any other mod is that it's always surprising, and I try to keep it exciting, and that's a big thing. I mean, that's not something to, like, beat myself up about or whatever, because that is a pretty significant achievement. Oh, there's a huge grid of lights. There's a place in episode 4, level 3. I actually wrote in an article about this, and you can read the article instead of listening to me talk about it now. So, yeah, you have to backtrack all the way back. I just love making people run down these long halls. This level is really the cross of doom. It's one of those where you can, like that. I just wish I could have titled them and, you know, shown you the title, so I could title this like the cross of doom or the cross of destruction. I always thought of that basket as like a toilet. So it's like two-way bathroom. You have absolutely no privacy because you have to get from the other side. Yeah. I don't know. I think more realistic design in one way might not have been a bad thing or hurt me that much. And on the other hand, you know, I'm very partial to that very abstract stuff, so I don't, maybe there isn't a complete divide there that I think there is. You know, you can do something which there's a sort of logic to the environment, which I was not too concerned with at all in this. But you can do something where there's a sort of logic to the environment, but I also have it be really abstract, which is maybe what I try to, like, you know, go for now. But at the time, I didn't really have a sense of that, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think I went nearly as far as I could have because of that. And honestly, like, I was definitely getting better by the end of this, and more confident in just trying to put effort into, like, what was important. I like this room, by the way. There's this secret somewhere that I think is important for getting the secret level. I just like that long hall. This part is okay. Not that interesting. But yeah, that part. It's like the prison room, you know, it's sort of, I guess it's built over this more scary area, which you saw part of in the previous level. I guess both of them sort of are themed that way, so there is a consistent progression there. If not as, like, clearly drawn as I would have liked. here you have to go to one or the other side, but they're divided off, and eventually they end up in the same room, but on different sides. So this is actually somewhere where dividing the path like can affect, you know, how well you do in the next room. This is, yeah, the third key place. And, oh, I guess I spend a lot of time struggling to find the secret after this, so I'll go off on a monologue about Samuel Beckett or something like that. I don't know that much about Samuel Beckett, so that would be a bad idea. This key is very similar to a key in episode 6, level 7, which I always missed, but is a very obvious secret. You literally just have to hit the wall and you get the key. And yeah, part of what is like so frustrating and maddening, but also so like kind of brilliant about Wolfenstein level design is the instances of things which really break the logic of the game and don't make that much sense, but, you know, like, also make it unique. Make it a thing that can't really be that can't really be articulated and explained, but does do something interesting. And it works better in some places than it does in others. I mean, I had the one that I read an article about, episode 4, level 5, I think is the most interesting case of where the surrealness is like really effective and like serves a particular purpose, and there's an interesting progression, and like there's a lot of stuff that just that's really right about that level and makes it really work in being the kind of experience that I'm assuming that was like aimed for, but that's 1 out of 60 levels. Still though, you see things that are done that just aren't done in any other game, because of just, you know, the willingness to try out every single idea and explore every single like combination and way of doing things. And I think that's really, really important for like designing games, is even in like the most like simple systems you have, there are like 8 million different ways to explore it and use it, and that definitely affects the way that the player interacts with the environment. Like it kind of reveals new bits of it, and you know, it's, yes, it's like a cliche in that, like, you know, that's something that Braid does also. It's kind of a gamer, you know, Mario 3 in particular. It's kind of a cliche, but it's also something that's like, you know, it's really important to me, and I don't think it's a thing that will ever be like go away from game design, and because it's, you know, it's a good thing to me. It really is like the best way to say something about the experience, is to build on it and introduce new things. And, you know, I mean, there are different ways of doing it, but that to me is maybe the most meaningful way to speak to the player without, you know, yeah, this exit area is very heavily inspired, pretty much almost more or less copy pasted from episode 5, level 2. An exit area I really like, and in general I like that level. But anyway, what I was saying is, you know, it's a way to have some sort of meaning be imparted without, you know, being didactic and telling people what the game is about, or, you know, just revealing kind of different facets through the experience, and through the environment, because that's the thing that you interact with, you know. And I think that's extremely important. I don't know, like, I think that's like more fair and like less kind of yeah, it's a more fair thing to do, and not, you know, trying to hit somebody over the head or make them feel bad. Of course, sometimes maybe they should be made feel bad, but most of the time I think it's just a gimmick and it doesn't really help. Of course, they say that, and I made a game recently about with areas that are just intentionally confusing and cryptic and frustrating. I didn't figure out how to get in that room, but it's not actually that hard to get into, but it's just another room containing secret stuff, but it's not required. Yeah, I'd made a game called Responsibilities, and you wander around, and it is very cryptic and frustrating, but, you know, it's also one of those things where I hope the meaning or whatever is imparted through each environment. And like, even if areas are particularly frustrating, like, it's not trying to, like, you know, lecture you or anything. It's just like there's an environment and you have to like respond to it, and it's not breaking the rules of that, what's being set out. It's just, it's frustrating for other reasons. So I think that's fine. I mean, of course, I mean, there isn't necessarily a problem with breaking the rules either, but as long as it serves some sort of purpose. I'm trying so hard to find the secret, and I didn't. I actually had to load the map of this and look it up to figure out where it was, and literally, I don't know how I missed it. I just went right over it. It was in basically where I thought it was. I don't know how you'd find the secret short of pressing against every single wall, but the same could be said for most secrets in Wolfenstein, the original, so whatever. So yeah, I actually looked at the map and I came back, and here I am feeling stupid. So this goes to secret level 41, which is my last level in here, and you can start to see, even though it was very referencey, like much of this game, you can start to see things arising which, you know, I had a little bit more confidence, and that was really good. I wish I would have finished a lot of levels I did after this, because they were interesting. But anyway, I will see you later.